If you want to start dropshipping with no money, you want to watch this show till the end because I'll be sharing with you a few tips and hacks that will help you actually survive in the long run and be very successful. So here's the overview I want you to really think about. First of all, is it really possible to start a dropshipping business with no money? And technically, yes, you can start dropshipping with no money. But more realistically, having basic equipment like a computer, internet access, and a small sum to get you started is the best setup for success. Okay. Now, there are a few ways you can start a new business without so much as a dollar to your name. Take advantage of free trials and choose free options over paid versions whenever you get the chance. Now, if you can spend time scouring the internet, you will find a few products to get started, and you can even find some e-commerce platforms to host your site on for free. You have, for instance, you have Wix. Of course, Wix has its ads, and so if you're happy with that, that's fine. And so you can actually start there. You can go with a free version, all that kind of stuff, until you are ready to invest money and make the upgrade, right? Now, it's important to understand that at the very bare minimum, the one thing you need to start dropshipping with no money is access to a computer and a stable internet connection. Beyond that, you should be ready to invest a lot of time to get your business going in exchange for the lack of capital. So if you don't have money, you need to invest a lot of time doing research, browsing the internet, finding quote unquote winning products, trying to go for those 30-day free trial, or you can even find free websites. As I said before, there are certain website builders that can actually accommodate your e-commerce, your dropshipping venture, if you're willing to allow them to plaster ads on your website. One thing that's really important to understand is that dropshipping is profitable. I want to establish that. Yes, dropshipping is highly profitable for consistent online store owners who put the work in it. You have to put in the work. If you don't have a lot of money to start your own online dropshipping store, you will need to substitute with a lot of time and labor instead. And that labor can come from you or from your associates, from your family members. But so it's important to understand that. And it does take time before you start making money dropshipping. So it's all about you being like, you have to be in this game for the long run. It's all about being in it for the long run. But just want to say, yeah, it is totally possible to start dropshipping with no money. Totally possible. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's discussion. Now, I want to talk to you about the steps you want to follow here. So how do you actually start dropshipping for free? So step number one, you need to find a profitable niche to work in. It's really important. So everything starts with having a niche. You got to have a niche. So you need to find not just any kind of niche, a profitable niche. Remember, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It takes time to start seeing a decent profit. So pick a niche that you can stick to over a long period of time, and not just one that you think will make you a lot of money. You should also look out for niches that will have fierce competition. Right? Now, the best niches for dropshippers are those with many potential products that are lightweight and won't break easily. So why? Because you don't want people to actually return the products. Because when we talk about product returns, we're speaking about product refund, and you don't want that. You don't want to actually put all your cash, all your profits into put it back into a refund. You don't want that. So potentially good niches for dropshipping include fishing, painting, golf, gardening, and potentially bad niches for dropshipping include video games, because see, when we talk about video games, we're talking about a sector that has a high failure rate. Also, furniture. Now, furniture is very costly to ship. Again, you don't want to waste a lot of cash in when it comes to shipping, or also when it comes to refunds. When customers are returning the products, you don't want that. And also, don't actually invest in things like videography or photography, because when you talk about videography and photography, those elements, those items are expensive and breakable. So that's the bottom line. The bottom line is what? The bottom line is you need to find niches that are easy to get in and easy to stay in. It's not about the short term. We are speaking about the long term here. It's all about being in it for the long run. So you got to have a strategy where you are able to be in this game in a sustainable manner. And one thing I want to say also is that it's really important for you to think about the logistics of the niche you're in. So it's not just about choosing a niche. It's about finding the way to actually survive in that niche logistically. Again, remember, it's not you. You're not going to ship the product to the customer. your dropshipping partner, your dropshipping supplier is the one to ship the product to the customer and is the one to actually receive the items also if there are returns. But you are going to be the one who will coordinate everything. The customer is looking up to you. If you do not actually perform, the customer will leave a bad review for you, and that's going to doom your store, which you don't want anyway. So consider your customer information. What market do you want to target? And think of what products are in high demand for that market. So step number 2, you want to source products within your niche. So first of all, step number 1, you need to find a profitable niche to work in. Step number 2, you need to source products within your niche. And it's really important to understand that when we talk about sourcing products, we're speaking about sourcing winning products. So what are winning products? Those are products that are not too competitive, right? There are products that have healthy profit margin. They have a healthy profit margin, and products that are like easily that you can find easily. So for all intents and purposes, one of the most important steps to starting a dropshipping business is to find the right supplier. And the easy way will be to go over AliExpress, Banggood, or a similar service, Deezers, Doba, Spockets. You have brands like Worldwide Brands and so on and so forth. However, you might want to consider local manufacturers in your niche. If you choose suppliers locally, this is really good because there is a great chance their products are of a higher quality and you can expect a lesser shipping time, leading to higher customer satisfaction. See, the whole thing is not just about, again, going back to what I said earlier, dropshipping is a long-term game and you want customers to be happy. You want people to actually be happy and be comfortable dealing with you. So it's important to find the right supplier. And we have seen in our experiences that local suppliers, locally sourced products, sometimes actually can help you out. The best way to find local products is using Google search operators. And so this special commands allow you to filter results or more narrowly define your searches through Google. So this is important. Let me give you an example, and we'll just put this on the screen. So an example would be all in text, golf dropship, or all in text fishing dropship. So you can see there that if you put this on, we'll put this on the screen. So if you put this in Google, you are actually, you have what we call those operators, those commands. And so you're able to narrow down your searches. So there will be like a few search operators in total, and the all in text operator, so there are about 42 search operators in total. The all in text operator will pull up web pages with all of the terms you are searching for somewhere in the text. So use this to find manufacturers or wholesalers and contact them to set up a dropshipping agreement. And finding reliable suppliers and the right product will make or break your online business in the long run. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about you wanting to start dropshipping with no money. And here is the gist of things you need to know. Number 3, you need to pick a platform to sell on, right? So it's important to understand that you need to have a platform. Now, there are 2 ways to actually do this. So when we talk about dropshipping, with no money or with money, whatever, you need to have, there are 2 options, only 2 options. You can actually sell on a platform like an e-commerce marketplace, or you can sell on an e-commerce platform. So e-commerce marketplaces, we're talking about Amazon, or eBay, or Etsy, or Walmart Marketplace, or Facebook Marketplace. So those are established marketplaces with established audiences. So you have that, those have pros and cons. One of the pros are that you have the market is already there, the customers are there, and one of the cons is that you do not have freedom because everything is locked. So that's for marketplaces. You also have e-commerce platforms. So here we're talking about Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce. We're speaking about Big Cartel. We're talking about Magento, so Adobe Commerce. We're speaking about GoDaddy Commerce, Wix, and so on and so forth. So it's important for you to find really the platform that is great for you. So once you choose your products, you need to decide on the many e-commerce platforms out there for you. If you are trying to build your dropshipping business for free, you are likely to be looking to Amazon or eBay. However, If you can spare roughly $3 a month for a basic plan with a web host, then in the long term, your best bet is starting your own website. Whether that looks like a Shopify store or a WordPress site is up to you. There are lots of different options. And alternatively, you can use a free hosting service, and this is really great for you. And the thing is that sometimes if you go with something that is free, that's what we have seen though. If you go with something that is free, things can get a little complicated, like a little messy, because hey, again, you're not paying for anything, so you shouldn't be expecting quality service. Okay, so it's really important for you to think about the best sort of service, and really be willing to spend a little bit. Like you can get a great, like a decent hosting provider like Bluehost, for instance, and this will help you. You will get a free domain for the first year, for example, and the hosting is decent enough to get you started until you can move on to something better. And so your goal is to get set up and get your first few sales coming in. So once you have consistent sales, you can scale up to a better hosting provider. Or another great option is to get a true store and all set up with Shopify, which is probably the most common platform that dropshippers use. But again, everything goes back to what you have decided, what's important for you, and what you think of doing in the long run anyway. Step number 4, you need to create a store. So when we talk about creating a store, we're talking about you having all the bells and whistles of a normal store, right? And again, you can have the store for free depending on the platform you are hosting the store on, or you can pay a little bit to sort of have it a great store to start with. Assuming that you actually let's say you say, you know what, I'm gonna really set up a WordPress store. Your hosting provider will help you to install WordPress. And so this is kind of cool. So this will give you the ability to customize things completely, right? But again, you need to have some kind of experience when it comes to WordPress, when it comes to programming, when it comes to coding. I mean, if you have that expertise, good for you. That's really great. But if not, you might need to actually hire someone to actually help you with that. And so you can use WooCommerce to get started. So basically WooCommerce is a free e-commerce platform for WordPress. You'll be able to host all of your pictures, take payments, and run every aspect of your store using this software. Make sure that you have ways to take payments. Two of the best methods when first getting started are PayPal or Stripe. And alternatively, you can avoid getting your own hosting or worrying about WordPress by setting up, a store on Shopify. The next step is you need to add products and write unique descriptions. We're talking here about product descriptions. And so once you have all the basics of your store and WooCommerce set up, you will need to add products. You can use a free service such as Canva to add backgrounds and filters. Try and touch up on the photos that the manufacturer sent to you if you can. And again, it's all about customizing things, right? It's all about branding also. And so make sure you use unique product descriptions. Under no circumstances should you just copy the product description from the dropshipping supplier. You can copy over the product features, but there should be a few bullet points at the most. Okay. And so make sure that, again, you have to use unique product descriptions. And it's important to understand that your product descriptions should sell the benefits of using the products. Always focus on what problems a product will help solve. This can include providing convenience, alleviating boredom, making things easier, etc. And the next step is you want to invest your time in marketing. So after everything is set up, you want to really put the pedal to the floor with digital marketing. People cannot come to a store they know nothing about. So don't just spam social media and forums either. Take the time to develop a marketing plan or a one-page marketing plan by learning where your target audience hangs out online and what they're looking for. That way you have a clear idea what they're looking for. So you want to develop content in line with this result and go hard at scaling that content. Create a content schedule for both social media and articles for your website. And if you can get through the first year, you should be making enough money to begin outsourcing much of the work. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. The topic I'm talking to you about, you starting to dropship with no money. What are the things you need to think about from the get-go? Let's quickly talk about the skills you need to start a dropshipping business with no money, because you got to have some skills. I mean, otherwise you can't survive. Okay. Now, the first thing is you need to have sales focused copywriting skills. This is so important for you to actually start here. And I'm not talking about like, just any kind of a copywriting skills. I'm talking about you having like a great skills, and I'm talking about high quality too, though. You don't want to have like low quality websites or low quality copy. No, you want to have high quality copy, and either you have it or you actually can outsource it. It's all about you having the expertise at your disposal anyway. You need to also think about, you need to hone your skills when it comes to content marketing and search engine optimization. So SEO. SEO is an important element because the SEO is going to drive traffic to your website, to your store. See, simply because you have a website, because you have an online store, a dropshipping website, doesn't mean you are going to start making money right away. You are going to need some kind of SEO strategy to be clear that you're talking to the right audience. Because see, content writing is great. Content writing is great because it provides information. It starts the sales process. But what is going to drive traffic to the website so that people can read that content? That's SEO. So SEO means that you are basically you are talking to Google's algorithm. You are providing the kind of information that Google wants, but most importantly, what the potential visitor wants. You want to answer basic questions about the products you're selling, okay, about the benefits. So besides SEO, content marketing, copywriting, you need to have basic data analysis skills. You need to understand what's happening in the background of your store. You need to have basic conversion focused web design skills. In other words, again, going back to what I said about WordPress, if you don't have WordPress experience, you might need someone who does, so that you are able to have a decent WordPress website that can convert. You want to convert. You want to basically close the sales. And this is what's important for you. And you also need to have basic graphic design skills. So what are we talking about? We're talking about your branding. We're talking about, your logo. We're talking about the overall tone of your store. Because the bottom line is you need to have something that is appealing to customers. You also need to have customer support skills, right? When we talk about dropshipping, especially if you are going to survive the first year or even the first 30 days, you need to actually be closer to what the customer wants. You need to have a clear idea about what the client wants, and you need to provide value day in and day out. Very important. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. And I want to give you a few tips for growing your dropshipping store with no money. First of all, you need to focus on strong branding. So branding is going to help you because, when we talk about branding, we're talking about you being able to differentiate yourself within the marketplace. We're talking about you actually having providing a clear vision, a clear idea to your customers when it comes to your store. What does your store stand for? What are you doing differently from the competition? So you need to really be clear about that. The thing is that there are thousands, if not millions, of dropshippers on platforms such as Amazon, such as AliExpress, such as Banggood, such as Deezers. They're trying to do the same thing. You have hundreds of thousands of Shopify stores. They are trying to sell the same thing. So if you don't have strong branding, you're not going to survive. So you need to differentiate yourself. You also need to provide top-notch customer service. It's all about you providing the value that the customer wants, right? It's all about answering questions, providing the value. If you are able to provide value, you will receive value back, and that value will be translated in revenue, into profitability. That's what you need anyway. You need to create strong relationships with a reliable or 2 or 3 or 4 reliable suppliers, right? Because those suppliers are going to handle the back office of your dropshipping business. In dropshipping, you don't actually ever touch inventory. The dropshipping supplier is doing it. So that's why you want to have, first of all, you need to find a reliable supplier or 2 or 3, and then you want to build a relationship. You need to cultivate a strong relationship with that supplier. And so it's important to understand that, it's great for you to have that in mind. Now, what are the pros of dropshipping if you don't have startup money? Well, it is easy to get started. Yes. There is no need for inventory. Yes. You have location independence because you don't have to like be in a specific geography, and it is easier to scale. Now, what are the cons of dropshipping if you don't have startup money? Well, you need to invest a lot of time into marketing. You need to invest a lot of time into research. It takes much longer to turn a reasonable profit, right? You got to have skin in the game to actually to make some money out of the game. And competition will be fierce, okay? Because again, it's just how the system is set up. And so what are alternatives to a dropshipping business model if you have little money? Well, you can try affiliate marketing. You can sell digital products, or you can sell services online. It's totally up to you. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just spoke to you about if you want to start dropshipping with no money. I gave you a few tips and hacks for you to think about. And so this will help you a lot in terms of you actually surviving in the long run. And the most important thing I want to say, the most important steps you need to follow are finding a profitable niche to work in, sourcing products within your niche, picking a platform to sell on, creating a store, adding products and writing unique product descriptions, investing your time in marketing. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.